This video is going to be a review or an assembly of the Dewalt pressure washer 3400 PSI and that Dewalt surface cleaner. This video is a little long, but honestly it might be helpful because I struggled to kind of put it together. And I don't know, just kind of watch it if you want, but I struggled a little bit. I really didn't know what I was getting into here. I've never done this before. So the surface cleaner, for some reason I just thought there was going to be more in the box, but I guess it makes sense. It's just the one piece. It's already pre-assembled. Later in the video I show you how to use it. I use it on a little bit of a cement piece. But that's it. I mean, no assembly, no nothing. You just plug it into that thing and you turn it on. Yeah. So it's kind of cool how easily that thing turned. And these really thick wire brushes on the side, it makes it kind of cool because it just kind of floats on the cement piece that you're doing. It started to rain on me here, but whatever, I don't care. So this is just me opening it up. While we have a second here, I would love for you to subscribe. Please hit like, comment about what you think about this review. This first piece of paper, I don't even know what it is. It's some kind of stupid warning. Don't kill yourself. This apparently is like the handle of the unit, and I assemble it in just a moment. So inside that top piece was the handle thing, all the pressure washer bits, a couple screws that you saw, and then the wand here. I was really surprised how short this stupid wand was. For what I'm going to be doing with it, I'm going to have to go and buy the longer one, which is kind of frustrating because that thing is really tiny. I wouldn't necessarily recommend cutting the box just in case you need to return it, but I just really didn't know how to show this on camera, so I just cut it this way. This is the handle to the wand. I thought that extra handle where my left hand is it was pretty cool, kind of like a machine gun or something. Probably helps with your muscles when you're working it a long time. This bit on the left is where you get the water pressure from. That, I think, is a control valve for the pressure. I wish there was a gauge, if that's what that is, to tell you what you're at. It was, at this point I really realized the size of it. It was a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. For $600, I just thought it was going to be bigger. But yeah, I mean, it's, I guess, fine. But I just, for some reason, thought it was going to be much bigger. I really like that on the handle they have kind of homes for each of those bits, the colors. So that's just what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of putting it together. There's the little screws. Those screw into holes so your handle stays in place. I didn't look up in the instructions, but I just stuck them in this direction with the plastic screw facing it. I just didn't want to maybe hit my hand on it. So to me, that made sense. It may be backwards that it goes the other way, but I don't think it matters. That green mark on my hand there, today is Easter, and we were decorating Easter eggs, so that was dye from that. This metal thing, I have no idea what it is, what it's for. I looked in the instructions, I don't know what it is. So if you have any idea, I would love for you to tell me what it is. If you could comment below. So what I'm reading here, that is, I guess, a pressure relief valve in that bag. That red thing on the bag is just kind of a temporary plug. I think I lost it here. Okay, here we are again. So I just used one of my putty knives to unscrew it. So that red thing is just temporary. You're going to throw that away. And there's already oil inside of that one. That is where you get your water pressure, and there's already oil inside of that. So you just need to throw that red thing away, and then there's a breather valve that was in that bag that you're going to add to it. And here, I was still a little confused about what was going on, so I was just checking if there was oil and showing if there was oil. So now we're just going to screw that on, and I guess forget about it for now. And this just super confused me. So we have a bag of oil, okay, and I was like, what the frick do I do with this? Because that water thing had, or that pressure thing I just messed with had oil. Then I was looking at the engine, and I find this dipstick, and I pull the dipstick out, and there's oil on the dipstick. And I don't see oil in the engine, but on the dipstick is like a ton of oil. I was just so confused. I actually paused there and read the manual for like an hour, and I just couldn't figure it out. So finally I wiped the dipstick off, stuck it back in, and there's just no oil in there. So yes, that bag of oil goes in the engine, and only the engine, not that other thing. So that's what I'm doing here. That really, really confused me. I think I'm your pretty typical guy. I don't really read instructions beforehand. Try to figure it out on my own. I mean, all of this, I really didn't read the instructions or do any of that. I just started throwing it together. So reading the instructions later, they said just fill it up to about that line. But then I was like, frick, there's still oil in this stupid thing. So I just added the whole thing. I don't know if that's good or bad. But I mean, you'll see how full it is in a minute. But I ended up adding the entire bag. Whether I recommend that or not, I don't know. But that's what I did. So it brought the oil gauge to like 3/4 of that stick. It's not like it was pouring out of that. Now here, I don't know if I got a bad one, but the threads either on the metal side of the engine or that plastic cap, that thread it really threw me through a loop because I couldn't get it on. It really struggled. Even off camera, I did it quite a few times, but it finally took. Here now I officially figured out that there was oil in that water thing. So at this point I was like, okay, it's all making sense now. So we have oil in the engine. We already had oil in the pressure thing. So I was like, all right, I'm on a roll now. Let's move forward. This tag is just talking about the ethanol shield. It's just a product you can buy at the store. I just use the ethanol-free stuff at the gas station. It's a blue handle. Not all gas stations have that blue handle ethanol-free, so you could just buy that product. It's an additive you add to the gas. I thought it's cool just to stare in there, so I thought I would share that with you. Kind of fun to stare in an empty gas tank. And this metal thing, I still haven't figured out what this metal thing is. So again, if you have any idea... Oh, here's funny. Finally, I read this, no oil in the engine. So I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. If I would have just read this, I could have saved all that time. So this is, we're hooking up the hose. And this is surprisingly easy. It just screws on with your hand. Later in the video, I obviously add water and test it, but just even this tight didn't leak at all on me. It was pretty cool. So this is your soap additive. You're going to stick that thing on, I think I get a better close of that, but right there. And then the other end of it, if you were to go buy a soap detergent or something, you're going to stick that in there. And it creates a vacuum and sucks it through so it can come through the wand of that thing. So you can put soap on what you're spraying. So here at this point, I'm pretty sure that is some kind of... regulation valve so you can raise or lower the pressure. I just wish there was a gauge on it because I don't know what the frick I'm doing. Right now I think that's what that is. Here I'm hooking up the handle to the wand to this. And it's just as easy. I mean, I'm barely going to screw it on. If you saw how tight I did the other one, that's how tight I do this one. And again, I didn't get a single, even one drip out of it, so you really don't need to wrench it on that tightly. Now we're adding the wand to the handle. Same exact concept, it just screws on. And I just kind of barely put it on there, just a little bit snug with the screwing of it. And again, I'm going to go buy a longer wand, the metal piece, because that one is just so short. I mean, shame on Dewalt for giving you the short one for that much money. I mean, come on, guys. Then these little bits just clip on. Real important, they're all the way clipped so they don't fly off when you pull the trigger, and that really could do some damage to something. And again, this metal thing, what the frick is this thing? Somebody please help me. I have it sitting on my counter. I have no idea what it's for. Hopefully the engine doesn't blow up. Here, I've never seen a gas shut off like this before, okay? And there's no bubble little blister primer, so I thought maybe this was a primer, so I did it back and forth a couple times. But anyway, that is gas on, it says. Then you have your choke. That's choke off. That's choke on. Or no, reverse. That's choke off. That's choke on. All right, so I have switch on, gas on, choke on, filled it with gas. It's still running now. I just turned the sound off. So that must have been a primer because literally it started on that very first pull, which was very cool. All right, so I have it hooked up to the hose. I have it turned on, so I'm going to fire it up. And again, I've never turned this on before, so hopefully nothing bad happens. These oil stains have been there for years, and that brown paint has been there for like 2 or 3 years. So this is no soap, no nothing, with the yellow bit, which I think was 15 degrees, and I really don't even know what that means. But just my instant first reaction was, geez, wow, it's really working. I don't know if soaking it, obviously a chemical is going to work. But even like, do you see that? Just how quickly? I was very impressed with this. I thought that was very, very cool and fast. And this paint, I've tried with a wire brush, I've tried chemicals, nothing took that paint off, but this stupid wand just rips it right off. I get all that paint off, which is very cool. Here I want to show this. I thought this was pretty cool too. This is what I'm going to do with houses and charge them for it. I showed you this at the beginning. But you just want to slowly go back and forth. Obviously I have a lot of learning to do with it. But this is just very cool too. If you can kind of see up there the shape of it, very cool, you know. So I don't know if a chemical would do a better job, or just a oil stain that's old never comes up. Maybe, I don't know. But very, very impressed with this unit. So overall with this, both pieces very impressed with. I would definitely recommend it. My first thought is it should have been bigger. I mean, I don't think it needs to be, but I thought it should have been bigger. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe to my channel? I worked pretty hard on this video and all my videos. Hit like, and I would just love a comment about what you think of this review, and if you would buy one, or have you bought one, and how do you like it?